S'more Supreme? No. No, that's not it. Grape Galaxy. No. No, I don't think. Root beer float. That's it. That's my flavor. Oh, great news, mathematicians. My boss put me in charge of next week's cookie flavor. We create a new flavor combination every week, and I get to choose the combo and calculate how much frosting we need. Time for some math. Okay, the manual says to use 1 tablespoon of frosting for every 14 square centimeters of cookie top. What's a more mathematical word for the space on the top of a cookie? Area, yes. The amount of space inside a 2-dimensional shape is called the area. To find the frosting we need for a round cookie, we'll calculate the area of the circle. The formula to calculate the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared, or the area equals pi times the radius raised to the second power. So if we know the radius, we can figure out the area. Time to practice. Circle T has a radius of 11 inches. What is the area? Since the instructions don't specify, we'll solve this in terms of pi inches and in terms of numeric inches. We start with A equals pi r squared. We're given the radius, so we substitute 11 for r. Now we have A equals pi times 11 squared. Following the order of operations, we need to simplify the exponent first. What's 11 squared? 121. So now we have A equals pi times 121. If we want our answer in pi square inches, we put the number in front of the pi symbol, so the answer would be A equals 121 pi inches squared. Don't forget the unit, even though you have the pi symbol. Now, since we're practicing solving both ways, let's get the answer in numeric square inches. That means we won't have the pi symbol in our final answer. So we're here, A equals pi times 121. You know how to finish this. Pause the video and find the answer in terms of numeric inches. We substitute 3.14 in place of the pi symbol, so we have A equals 3.14 times 121. 121 times 3.14 is 379.94 inches squared, the other way to write our answer. So 121 pi and 379.94 are equivalent answers. A circle's diameter is 8 millimeters. What's the area in square millimeters rounded to the nearest tenth? What's different about this problem? Yeah, we're given the diameter, not the radius. What do you think we should do? Write down your ideas. We can divide our diameter in half to find the radius. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so the radius is 4 millimeters. Now, knowing r equals 4, we can plug it into our formula. A equals pi r squared. Since the instructions say round to the nearest tenth, we aren't solving this in terms of pi square millimeters. Instead, we'll get the answer in terms of numeric square millimeters. You could take it from here. This becomes A equals pi times 4 squared. 4 squared is 16, so the equation is now A equals pi times 16. Substitute 3.14 in place of the pi symbol, then multiply 3.14 times 16. The area, rounded to the nearest tenth, is 50.2 millimeters squared. Example 3 says, a circle's circumference is 6 pi centimeters. What's the area of the circle in terms of pi centimeters squared? Ooh, this problem doesn't tell us the radius either. How can we find the area? Do you remember the two formulas you can use to find the circumference of a circle? Write them down now. When you're given the diameter, the formula is c equals pi times d. And when you're starting with the radius, it's c equals 2 times pi times r. We know the area formula uses the radius, so which circumference formula should we use? Circle your choice. We'll use c equals 2 pi r when trying to find the area, since it uses the radius. This means when you're solving for the area of a circle, but all you have is the circumference, you'll have to do an extra step because you need to identify the radius first. First, you'll need to use the circumference formula c equals 2 pi r to solve for the radius. Then, you'll substitute the radius you found into the area formula for the circle, a equals pi r squared. All right, let's try example 3. Since we're starting with the circumference, the first formula we need is c equals 2 pi r. Substitute 6 pi in place of c, so now it's 6 pi equals 2 pi r. We need to isolate r, so we'll start by dividing by 2 on both sides. That leaves us with 3 pi equals pi r. The right side is pi times r, and the opposite of multiplication is division, so we'll divide by pi on both sides. The 2 pi's cancel out, so now we have 3 equals r. Now that we know our radius, step 1 is taken care of. We'll use the fact that the radius is 3 centimeters in step 2, finding the area. The second formula we need is a equals pi r squared. You can take it from here. Pause the video and find the area, then compare your work to mine. Circle U has a circumference of 20 pi feet. What is the area in numeric square feet? You try this one on your own, start to finish. How'd you do? Here's how I solved it. The circumference is given, so I use that to find the radius, starting with c equals 2 pi r and substituting 20 pi in place of c. So my equation was 20 pi equals 2 pi r. Isolating r, I divide both sides by 2. That gave me 10 pi equals pi r. Since I wanted r by itself, I needed to divide by pi on both sides. That gave me a radius of 10 feet. I used that with the area formula, a equals pi r squared. Then I substituted 10 in place of r, so it became a times pi times 10 squared. 10 squared is 100, so I got a equals pi times 100. Since the question is asking for an answer in numeric square feet, I replaced the pi symbol with 3.14, then multiplied 3.14 times 100. The area is 314 square feet. Okay, we're almost ready to tackle my frosting problem, but we should review the 3 ways of finding the area of a circle using a equals pi r squared. If we're given the radius, we substitute r and solve. If we aren't given the radius, we have to find that first and then find the area. For example, if we're given the diameter, we divide the diameter by 2 to get the radius, then substitute r into the area formula. If we're given the circumference, we use c equals 2 pi r, solve for r, then substitute that into the area formula. All right, I'm ready to figure out how much frosting I need for next week's cookies. The diameter of each cookie is 6 centimeters. What's the area of each cookie in square centimeters rounded to the hundredths? Since we're given the diameter, divide it in half to get the radius. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so substitute 3 in place of r. Our formula now is a equals pi times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, so it's A equals pi times 9. We replace the pi symbol, so it's 3.14 times 9. The area of one cookie is about 28.26 centimeters squared. Thanks for helping me calculate the area of each cookie. Be sure to try the bonus question in the guided notes called Cookie Calculation to help me calculate the exact amount of frosting I'll need to make 576 cookies. While I decide whether root beer float really is the right choice for my frosting flavor, you finish the notes, complete practice levels 1 through 3, and update your formula reference sheet. Until next time, keep questioning, keep calculating, and remember, every formula is a secret ingredient for solving problems. See you next time!